Time's an appropriate greeting to you and welcome back to the channel. I'd like to introduce a man who fills up 90% of my saved playlists on YouTube, who has built up an amazing vibe here on YouTube with an awesome amount of content, not just aimed at my total unprofessional noob self, but gamers of all ages and abilities. I've got the privilege to welcome Guy from Midwinter Minis.
Hello, how you doing?
Not too bad, thank you very much for taking part.
Oh, don't be silly, you're welcome.
Okay. So this is a normal format. We've got two sections to this, A and B, 1 and 2, whichever one you want to do. The first section is a standard set of questions which I ask everyone, and then the next one is a non-standard, specifically designed for yourself.
Ooh, I'm excited now.
So let's jump in 2 feet. How did you get involved in tabletop wargaming as a hobby?
I've kind of covered this a little bit in the past in a few videos, but it was really, I suppose, when I was about 9 years old. One of my friends, my neighbours in fact, who's about the same age as me, got a Space Marine, the little monopose Space Marine that came in White Dwarf, and yeah, I thought it was really cool, and I was like, I want whatever that is. And then, you know, through process of asking lots of questions and finding out where I got it from, I asked for some Space Marines for Christmas, and I got them, and then yeah, that progressed into the box set at the time, which is the 2nd edition set, and then yeah, it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. I played a lot, I painted a lot and played a lot in school, and then kind of, yeah, I don't want to like jump into any further questions you have and jump the gun into the future of the hobby, but yeah, that's kind of how it started.
What sort of hobbyist are you? A painter, collector, gamer, or a bit of a mix?
I'm definitely a mix. Yeah, I paint. I'm not particularly good at painting, but I can paint effectively. Maybe that's the key. I am too much of a collector. Yeah, I've got quite a few things that I haven't even looked at yet, and I do play games. I try to play games as often as I can. Obviously, right now it's a bit difficult, but yeah, a mix.
So what game systems do you play? Are you simply a one-person system, or have you started to spread out?
I play mostly, well, at the moment, almost exclusively Warhammer 40,000. In the past, I used to play quite a lot of Necromunda, and the old 90s Necromunda, and I really love it. I love the sort of granularity of it, and I love obviously the setting. It's something I'd like to get back into. I just was a little bit, you know, being honest, because otherwise what's the point in interviews? I was a little bit disappointed by their kind of revamping of Necromunda. I thought they missed a trick on a few of the kind of mechanics of the game that actually, at the parts I enjoy, I almost enjoy the post game more than the actual game. You know, the little bookkeeping element of it. But yeah, that's Warhammer 40,000 and Necromunda. Final answer.
So when you first starting out, 9 years old, what was the thing that caught your eye first about the hobby?
Yeah, it was definitely Space Marines, and then obviously as your tastes mature, you go beyond the basic. No, actually, I really liked the old Tyranid models, and I know they're almost universally hated, but the like the plastic Space Crusade Tyranids and Gene Stealers, they're so brilliant sculpt-wise. And even though they look like big angry alien beavers now, at the time they just looked awesome. Nothing looked like them. And yeah, the whole Space Hulk vibe as well. Sorry, I should have mentioned Space Hulk in the games that I play or like to play on occasion. Space Hulk is definitely in there, although I haven't played it recently. Yeah, that's the kind of early guy obsessions.
What advice would you give someone just starting out in the hobby, or maybe with a bit of a time machine, going back and advising your younger self?
That's a very good question. I would advise current young people in the hobby to just focus on the thing that they like the look of, and they kind of like the visual element of, because that's the thing that sticks with you the most, probably. If you kind of choose something on the lore but maybe you don't actually like the models, or they're kind of a real pain in the ass to paint, then you're going to get put off, and you're not going to enjoy your hobby you're not going to enjoy your hobby as deeply as you would, I think, if you just picked purely on aesthetics. Might sound quite shallow, but it's like a very visual and like visually appreciative hobby. And I think if you miss that at the start, or you get it, something that I don't want to repeat the point, but yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. And advice that I would give younger guy is, I don't know. I'm quite fatalistic when it comes to things like that. I'm just like, if it happens, it happens. Don't worry about it. Don't let your mother throw out all of your models. That would be my advice. Take them with you when you leave to move to Edinburgh. Take your stuff with you. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same here. I lost most of my 3rd edition starter box set, the old Metal Predators. I lost 2 of those. Dreadnoughts when I moved house, and my mum moved some boxes around allegedly.
Oh dear, oh dear. Into the bin.
Yeah. Have you ever had an extended period out of the hobby?
Yeah, ages and ages. So yeah, as I said, like pretty much when I moved away from home when I was 18, right up until, so that was 2003 for anyone that's really super interested in chronology. 2003 to probably like where are we now? 2014, 2015. I think is like my gap, my break. I had hobbies in that time. It was mostly music, which then sort of became a profession. But yeah, that's there was a big gap certainly of not painting, not playing, not really doing anything to do with the hobby. But I think I sort of picked up where I left off, really. It was the reason I got back into it. Is I bought you know who Penny is. Penny's little brother for Christmas asked for these little guys that his friends were playing with, and I was like, "Is he talking about Space Marines?" Yes, he is, obviously. So I was like, "Yeah, I know exactly what to get," and I'll like show him how to build them, and I'll show him how to paint them, no problem. And then I was like, "This is quite enjoyable, actually." Might get a couple for myself. And yeah, the downward spiral continued.
What's the best part of the hobby for you?
The best part of the hobby for me, I really, well, 2 elements, I suppose. I really like building stuff. Like painting is a necessary evil, I suppose, in my mind. I don't hugely enjoy it, which is why I try and get it out of the way as quick as I can. Building kind of just scratch built stuff and cool terrain things, that I really like doing that, which is what my current video project is, which is quite fun. I think the other major part of what I enjoy about the hobby is the community. It's just really positive in a way that other communities I've been involved in the past haven't been, especially music. I don't really want to kind of go into like ranty rant mode, but the music community is really horrible. Just in general. Obviously there are incredibly nice people out there, but the general there's almost no support. There's almost no kind of what's the best way to describe it? There's just like a kind of a camaraderie. Sorry, my dog is like whinging and yawning all the time. There's just a kind of camaraderie that is very refreshing in the sort of tabletop wargaming and model painting community. That it's just very nice to see, and that's one of my favourite parts of the hobby.
Yeah, I could pretty much testimony to that. In real life, I'm an engineer, and there's a very much a reluctance to share information sometimes on how to do things, because if you know how to do something and someone else doesn't, that's a way of keeping your job. So at least with this hobby now, with the introduction of YouTube and Instagram, I believe there's just a mountain of content, people showing, hey, this is how you do non-metallic metal. Look, it's not a wizard, a black art, or this is how you airbrush.
Exactly.
So, but on the other side, what's the worst part about the hobby for you?
To be honest, I think I don't experience it that much, but I know a lot of people have sort of issues with like gatekeeping, to various degrees. And it's maybe not online so much, but certainly in like physical stores, the kind of assumptive element where people assume you or require you to have a certain level of of knowledge about a thing to actually enjoy it, or even to the extent where it's because you're a girl, that just seems totally ridiculous. It's because of a thing that you were born with or without, that you have no control over, you can't enjoy playing with our little toys. It's that's just nonsense, and the sooner that kind of disappears, the better. It's just it's a fun pastime, and some people, not everyone, some people take it far too seriously. It's just a bit of fun, enjoy yourself and let other people enjoy themselves.
What keeps you in the hobby?
Well, if being honest here, it's the fact that I have a YouTube channel. I didn't expect it to sort of take off in the way it did. Certainly didn't expect it to, be almost at 90,000 subscribers in 2 years, which is crazy. I suppose having that many people sort of expecting me to put out content definitely keeps me active in the community and in the hobby. If I didn't have that expectation, I probably wouldn't be quite as prolific in doing what I do. And it's now become my full-time job, which is also insane. But certainly it's the channel, I suppose, that keeps me in it. But an element of that is, as I said, it's gone way beyond my expectation. So I think that doesn't need to be like the aim for everyone. It could just be, kind of like keeping up with your friends. If you have like a group of people that you play with regularly, or you kind of paint with and compare stuff to, that in itself is the kind of community that I'm talking about. It's just purely accidentally for me, it's just turned into this thing that's sort of outside of my control now.
Has anyone inspired your hobby style or life?
Inspired my hobby style or life? Do you know what? I'm gonna say no, because not in a dismissive way, because there certainly are people who I find inspirational in terms of how they paint or what they do, but there's definitely something about finding your own way in a hobby and doing what you do, whether that's miniature painting or anything. For me, it used to be music as well. Just doing your own thing and challenging yourself and finding something you enjoy doing and just spending time doing it. And it's also like really good for your mental health and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's the key. So no is the answer to that question. Sorry.
That's okay, don't worry. What projects are you working on at the moment?
I have made 10 orky wall barricade things out of sprue and cornflakes boxes. Because I could, and because I didn't have enough unbuilt and unpainted models to paint legitimate ones that are already there. Of course, that's an a huge lie. I have hundreds, but yeah, I just thought it'd be a really fun project. Maybe people are stuck at home at the moment and don't have new stuff to buy or paint or whatever. So I just thought, hey, let's make something that's basically free that you probably already have. You know, packaging and sprues from the models that you have. Yeah, and they've turned out quite good. The paint's drying on them at the moment. The undercoat, and hopefully should have a nice little video out on Monday. It should be interesting.
Do you plan out projects, armies, or do you just get sucked in the trap of buying new shiny stuff?
Both. I try to get the new shiny stuff to be involved in the projects that I'm interested in. So when, you know, I knew that I wanted to mess around. So my Necrons, the thing that kind of launched the channel, I suppose, I originally painted them red. I had like 5 that I'd done a test batch. So the Necrons, yeah, the original Necrons that appeared in that video were actually, well, most of them were painted a different colour. They were red, they had blue bases, and they had white heads. And I thought they looked kind of cool. And I was like, yeah, but this painting process actually takes quite a long time. And I was trying to use quite advanced techniques. And I was like, you know what? I wonder what it would look like if we just painted them like stone. And I was like, how could you make them convincingly look like stone really quickly? And I was like, I could use those texture paints. I wonder if they would work on a model and be okay. And they were a little bit flaky, so I made that the dip wash that had glue in it, and it worked. And I was like, hey, this is like 2 very interesting things in one video. So I was like, right, I'm gonna make a video to show people how to do this, because it's way easy and it looks quite cool. And yeah, that just kind of escalated from there. Back to the question, that was the little preface to the question. So I only had a couple of squads of Necrons at that point, and then Forgebane came out, and I was like, hey, this is like new Necron stuff, and I haven't got any of these things. I'm gonna get 2. And you know, a normal person would kind of think in their heads, okay, you're getting 2 of these and you don't collect the AdMech stuff, so, you know, find someone you know who maybe wants to split it. But no, they're still in the box. I haven't touched them. I will one day, and I'll maybe make a cool AdMech theme, but until then, yeah, I just things just pile up.
If your budget was unlimited, but you could only buy 1 army, what would it be?
Orcs. Always orcs. It's got to be orcs. Because A, you can't have too many of them, really, no matter what Penny says. Yeah, orcs. There's just so many cool models, and also when you run out of the official models, you can use bits of models to kind of create your own. Yeah, they're fun. They're good fun.
What do you hope to improve about your hobbying in the future?
I think that's a tricky one, really. I'd like to say I want to get better at painting, but when you paint often, you just do. It happens. So it's not really something that I'd like intentionally aim for. I think that the real challenge for myself, maybe, and the channel, is to just keep creating things that are interesting. Because, and I'm not saying that I'm gonna like gear all of the stuff I do to be like really clickbaity and just you know, generate the content, but I think the days of painting like a single model from a box set is maybe just, it's not that interesting to people. And I know like some of the best videos I think I've done are sorry, now my dog is playing by herself in the other room. Some of the best videos I think I've done are some of my least viewed videos, and that's fine. I don't really mind. I'm not creating, well, I certainly wasn't in the past creating things to be viewed a lot, but yeah, I think the challenge is creating stuff that is both interesting to watch and not clickbaity, and helps people learn. That's the aim, I suppose. That's the whole reason I made the channel, is to sort of share my knowledge about stuff, so it could maybe help other people in the hobby.
That's brilliant, mate. Thanks. That's the end of the normal standard questions I asked. So, got a few select questions to ask yourself now.
All right.
Aimed towards you, Guy.
Mm-hmm.
How did you start Midwinter Minis?
I sort of almost just exactly described how that happened. I posted, well, to preface it even more, as part of my other job before I started doing this, I used to make videos as part of my job. I used to present tutorials on various musical equipment and stuff. So that was, I already did that by myself. I already knew how to present things, shoot them, edit them. And then, you know, I was playing around with these Sandstone Necron models, and I thought, hey, I think I posted on Reddit actually, and people were like, "Oh my god, how did you do that?" And I was like, "It's way easy. Let me show you." So I made a video showing people how to do it, and then it got, you know, I think it got like 2,000 views in the first week or something, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is like game changing. Well, this is crazy. 2,000 people. Oh my god!" And like you said, you are one of the very first people to see that video. You got in there. How many subscribers did I have?
You had. I think I posted a few weeks after I found you.
So
I was pre 500, I believe. So I'm a Midwinter hipster, you know.
Yeah, that would have been like May 2018. In there right from the start. So yeah, that's how it started. And then it, I suppose the real way the channel then started though was I started doing the Blackstone Fortress videos, and that got the first kind of initial big bump of views. I think the algorithm just randomly picked up the Obsidious Malax video, and then that got like 1,000 views in an hour. Just for 1 hour, and I was like, whoa, what is happening here? And then, yeah, it just kind of steadily, on and off, but, you know, steadily grew. And, yeah, it's just kind of mind-blowing. I didn't have that expectation at all. I just wanted a kind of repository for a place to put my, you know, experimenting and kind of messing around. To, as I said, to almost encourage me to stay in the hobby and to kind of, like, keep being productive. And yeah, it kind of exploded.
So why Blackstone Fortress and not like some other channels would have done like an Ultramarine, a Blood Angel, but you chose Blackstone Fortress? What was your idea behind the series?
Well, I thought Blackstone Fortress was absolutely perfect for that kind of thing because it was loads of different models. It was a really good variety of models and quite a few of them. So it was going to be challenging to actually come up with colour schemes and effective painting techniques that would kind of get them looking good enough. You know, that's all I'm interested in. Good enough to like play a game, maybe play a game on camera and it look pretty good. You know, if you get really close to them, they don't look that good. You know, there's kind of little mistakes, little bits and bobs that could have been painted much better. But we hide those, and you know, it's fine. No one picks them up and has a look at them that closely. They just play a game. It's a board game, you know. That was the kind of idea behind that. And yeah, also the restrictive paint selection as well was something that I really wanted to do as well, because I have a kind of moderate training in art theory thanks to my school days, and my art teacher was excellent, and I just understand how paint works and how you know, it's quite easy to get a huge variety of tones out of a very limited palette. And yeah, that's it, I suppose. That's why I chose Blackstone Fortress. I thought it would be a good challenge, a good variety, and to challenge myself. Yeah.
So each of your videos you normally do a single character. How long do they take to produce?
The single character ones, not very long at all, because I was making them when I had a full-time job. So I would be in my full-time job, you know, kind of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. On my lunch break, I might, you know, go and do a little bit, or generally that's kind of where the two-stage painting aspect came from, because it would be like a lunch break amount. You know, the first half an hour was like, hey, this is my lunch break, and then in the evening I would finish it off for the sort of hour version. And yeah, so realistically, I could paint the model in one day. Obviously, there's a little bit of time before that to kind of think about how I'm going to do it and which paints I'm going to use, and the techniques that I might use, and the steps in which you apply them, which are kind of, once you do a few though, it all gets very kind of similar, or the steps anyway. And then it only takes me, for single model things, it only takes me like 3 or 4 hours to edit the whole thing and get it out. So I could do that when I was working full time. When I started trying to make slightly more ambitious videos, like the Gallowpox infected video, that took, I had a few days off from work, and I think that was, you know, like two solid days of painting, and then another solid day of editing, because there was a lot of files to kind of sift through, and, you know, moments to pick out. Yeah, and kind of larger build projects or things like that do take a little bit of time. And when I was working full time, that sort of doing the larger projects, that's when my videos started coming out every 2 weeks rather than every week, or every kind of 10 days rather. And people got a bit concerned that I was slowing down and maybe I was going to leave. I was like, no, I'm just like really busy at work. Don't worry about it. And I don't want to like keep putting out the same video. I want to make interesting videos. But now I'm doing it full time. I can make, you know, big project things every week. And yeah, at the moment I'm trying to make it actually like a full-time thing, so the videos are very interesting, there's a lot in them. But yeah, single model, few hours, realistically, like it's a full day of work if you consider all of the aspects. Yeah, okay. That's your answer.
Now you have a large following. Do you believe there's a pressure to put out content, and would this have a negative effect towards your enjoyment in the hobby?
Pressure to put out stuff as a big following, yeah, but like I said, that's kind of what keeps me going, really. If I was putting out the videos that I probably wouldn't change anything. I would still be putting out the videos I put out even if I had a couple of thousand subscribers. You know, that's not a big deal. But certainly I would feel less guilty if I was just like, you know what, I'm not feeling great or whatever, I just, you know, want a couple of days off, I'm not going to put out a video for a couple of weeks. That wouldn't, you know, I can't really do that now. Not without some pretty big excuse. Yeah, and that's fine, you know. I'm kind of comfortable now in knowing that I can make, I've got a few things in the back of my mind of like very fast but entertaining videos I can make just in case I need to like take some time off or whatever. But yeah, no, I definitely didn't expect it to sort of get to this point. So I'm still sort of learning every day. Yeah.
You've now started to move towards teaching videos and small-scale battle reports. Was this always the plan?
No, not at all. No. When I started Midwinter Minis, I just the style of the video. I very much focused on making it easy to follow, even if you had a short attention span, because I'm a chronic video skipper. You know, as soon as anything starts to get a little bit boring, I'm like, doop, doop, doop. Go on, where's the interesting part? And I didn't want people to do that to mine, so I just like I cut it, and then, you know, I rendered out a version. I watched it and I was like, that bit is boring, cut it out, you know, or like put something else in, or talk over it, say something else. So I kind of refined it like that, and then when I got back into the hobby, I was watching battle reports from various channels, and I found them incredibly useful at the time because I was learning rules. But also, there was just something about most of them that was just made it hard to follow. Do you know what I mean? Not in a sense that it wasn't entertaining. It was just the way it was presented sort of made me zone out after about 20-30 minutes. And then I thought, well, if I'm gone by the 30-minute mark anyway, why don't I just try and condense a battle report into 30 minutes. That'd be fun. I'll see if I can do it as a test. So we actually made a couple of test battle reports that aren't on the channel, and they were really good, really, really good. The only problem was that we had like camera problem with one of them, and then we had an audio problem with the next one. That's like, oh, they were really, really dramatic fights as well. So it's sad that they didn't ever make it to the channel. But what was my point again? Yeah, so I didn't really expect the battle reports to get popular. It was like a little challenge to myself to see if we could actually make one and put it in half an hour. And we did try 1,000 point one, and it sort of bumped it up to about 45 minutes. And I thought that might be too long. So yeah, I just thought, well, no one's really doing 500 point battle reports, and they're really beginner friendly, and it's kind of an achievable thing to get to. You know, it's quite easy to build a 500 point army with a start collecting box and something else. So yeah, I thought, that's it. Let's just do 500 point battle reports, kind of winner stays on vibe, and see how that does. And it seems to be working quite well.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Have you ever been recognised in public in a non-gaming environment?
Not for this. I know that sounds lame, but yeah, I used to work for a music company in a sort of a visual role, and a couple of people did recognise me for that, which was a bit weird. I've only been recognised in gaming environments for Midwinter Minis, and before you think like, yeah, but you don't show your face on anything, or almost, you very rarely show your face on it. How do people know who you were? It's because I was wearing a Midwinter Minis t-shirt, and there's only like 3 of them in existence. I have one, Penny has one, and Brent from Gamer Town Hobbies has one because I sent him one. And yeah, that's why I was recognised. But that was at Warhammer World, at the Warhammer World Open Day. Yeah, quite a few people sort of came up and said hi, which is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have. I think there's the Instagram post where you finally show your and Penny's face. That exploded comments like, "Oh my god, I can't believe."
Yeah,
showing your face. It's like the almost like you know the YouTuber striking Scorpion 82.
Yeah.
No one knows what he looks like, because all you could do is get his hands.
You could just walk past him, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
What's the what was I going to say about my face is actually in the first ever Midwinter Minis video. It's slightly obscured with a respirator, but yeah, it's you can see my eyes. That's what counts, right?
Guy, yourself and friends have started to produce some awesome music for the background while playing in the games. How did this project come about?
Well, I wanted to have something in the background of sort of my first video, and I'd already sort of messed around creating this like dark ambient music. The music that I'd made in the past is always kind of like on the more metal side, specifically kind of like gothic metal, past life, you know. And I was a little bit bored with it, and I was just making sort of a little atmospheric, ambient stuff. Not ambient, but you know what I mean. Soundtracky, score style stuff. And I was like, well, I'll put that track that I made in the background of the video. It's not very intrusive. And then one of my viewers, Sebastian Kling, messaged me and said, like, hey, I really like the music. I'm gonna, I've made a couple of things that are similar. Do you want to hear them? And I was like, yeah, sure, man. And, he sent me them, and they were really good. And I was like, well, do you want me to put them on the channel? This was when the channel wasn't monetized, and I was like, I can't really offer you anything for this, but, maybe we can work something out in the future. And he was like, yeah, cool, man, sure. This is a very, trusting move, really. And, that happened a couple more times. My friend Gregor, who I used to work with, and my friend Ollie, who I used to work with as well, we worked together, made very similar tracks, and it all just sort of came together quite nicely. And we each made 2 tracks, 10 minutes long each, similar vibe. We all worked off the same. I made guides for how to actually create the music, just to kind of give it some cohesive element, because having 4 different artists making music for the same album, essentially, you could get quite varied results, but it all seems to work really well together, and we put it out, and people seem to like it, which is really a relief. And I think at this point now it's been listened to and sold more than anything that I've been involved in the past, which is awesome.
So where can people find out about your music? Where can we get the physical copy or a download from?
There's a link in pretty much all of our videos under if you look in the video descriptions, it says support the channel, and one of them is listen to the album or buy the album. It doesn't really matter how you enjoy it. If you listen to it, there's YouTube ads at the start. You can listen on Spotify, or if you want to support the artist, i.e. the 4 of us fully, and the channel fully, the best way to do it is probably Bandcamp. So if you just search Midwinter Minis on Bandcamp, you'll find it there. It's the only release, and I think it's £6 for the digital version, £8 for the hard copy. So it's kind of pretty. It's a pretty good way of actually supporting the channel, and you get something back in return, which is nice. And people think, well, that's not going to be that much money split between 4 people and blah 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 blah. But even if each artist gets like £1.50 from the share or something, that's the equivalent of something like 10,000 YouTube views, which is bonkers from one sale. So that's the kind of level of support you're giving if you actually do invest in the channel in that way, and you get something back, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'll put some links below.
Thank you very much.
Pointing down below, even though this is audio. Who do you think has a bigger cult following? Team Penny or Team Guy?
I want to say it's me. Obviously, I want to say it's me, but honestly, like looking at all the comments recently, it's going Penny crazy. All of the videos that have Penny in them are just suddenly like becoming incredibly popular. And I'm fine with that. I sort of expected it. That's why I am with her. I think she's great. I'm Team Penny.
Who makes the best cup of tea out of the 2 of you?
Oh, definitely Penny. I don't drink tea. I know, like, your American listeners will be wide open mouthed at that statement, but I don't really drink tea. I maybe drink like 1 cup of tea a month if I'm feeling a bit ill. Most of the time I drink coffee. I drink black coffee about 5 times a day. That's that.
That's perfect.
And Penny makes better coffee than I do as well. So God, it's a damning indictment on my drink making skills.
Final question, Guy, which I've started to ask everyone. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Of course it does. Of course it does. Why would you not put anything on a pizza? I would put chocolate on a pizza, to be honest. I'm an animal. I'm going to tell you a secret. I haven't had pizza for since mid-November 2019. Yeah, because I'm currently doing the ketogenic diet, and
there's chicken wings, and
pretty much it's all stuff that sort of people told you not to eat. But somehow I've managed to lose like 55 pounds in 6 months, which is crazy. Thank you. I feel really good, actually. I didn't think it would work. Certainly didn't think it would be easy, but hey, it kind of has. So yeah, no bread, no chocolate, no beer, none of the stuff that was like my everyday go-tos.
Your comfort food.
Yeah. Well, just food. That was it. But hey, that was a bonus question for you. But pineapple on pizza, 100%. If I ate it, if I ate either of those things right now, I would definitely eat them together.
So, Guy, thank you so much for taking part in this interview. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on the internet on this little site called YouTube. It's a new one. And the channel called Midwinter Minis. You can also find me occasionally lurking at friendly local gaming stores in the Essex area of the United Kingdom. And very occasionally you can find me at Warhammer World. So if you see someone about 6'3", 50 pounds lighter than you thought they would be, and well, wearing a Midwinter Minis t-shirt. Let's be honest, it's probably me. So yeah, say hi.
Sure. That's perfect, mate. Thanks so much.
Awesome, no problem.
So that's a wrap. A massive thank you to Guy for taking part and giving us a little insight into himself and Midwinter Minis. I've been your host, the Unprofessional Hobbyist, and I'd like to say thank you for taking part and listening along. We do have a playlist coming up in the end cards showing other interviews which I've done with some other YouTubers and content providers. And we've got some more in the can for future releases. So thanks a lot and take care.